We have created a series of videos to discuss Texas' long range plan for technology and how you can create a custom plan for your district. First, let's talk about who these videos are for and how to use them. Who is this for? This is designed to guide every district to create their own long range plan for technology. This can also be used to guide individual campuses and classroom teachers. Let's talk about what you will need to best utilize these videos. First, your team. Who in your district is a vital part of the technology conversation? How can you involve the necessary parties and decision makers? Second, bring your creativity. We all face new and evolving challenges daily as we do our best to serve our students. Our technological resources are important and exciting tools that create opportunities for us to think outside the box as we work together to plan for technology and education. Third, download the workbook associated with this module. We will be reflecting on what you're already doing, what you want to begin, and what your goals are. We will be talking about big ideas in these interactive videos. The workbook is a vital part of the process. See the link below to download your workbook now. What are some of the things you'll see in these videos? As we go, you'll see an orange box like this pop up periodically. These definitions will help expand on what we are discussing. You will also see this white folder. This is to remind you to check out the resources that help expand the topic being discussed. These videos are meant to be interactive. We will provide opportunities to pause the video throughout to reflect or make notes in your workbook. So go ahead, pause this video now to gather your supplies and print the workbook. Download using the link on your screen. What is the LRPT and how is it structured? The Long Range Plan for Technology, the LRPT, is an outline of strategic goals for technology in Texas and is intended to be used as a visionary guide to inform and influence educators as you make personalized decisions for your learners. The LRPT is structured into 6 strategic goals. Each strategic goal has 3 focus areas defined within it to help guide strategy creation. Each focus area is further broken down to include the biggest challenge, suggested actions, and short and long-term outcomes. The larger LRPT structure informs how to use these videos and how their resources are structured. There is one video for each of the 18 focus areas. This will allow you to watch the videos in order of what's most pertinent for your district. Each video will introduce the strategic goal and one focus area within it, digging into the challenge, each suggested action, and the short and long-term outcomes. Now, let's look at the LRPT structure as a whole. Remember, the LRPT is first broken down into 6 strategic goals, incorporating statewide trends in technology. Goal number 1, personalized, flexible, empowered learning. Goal number 2, equitable access. Goal number 3, digital citizenship. Goal number 4, safety and security. Goal number 5, collaborative leadership. Goal number 6, reliable infrastructure. As you think about how these goals relate to your district, remember that every school district is unique, so every conversation will be unique. While many share a great deal of challenges, like budget, competing priorities, and security threats, each technology plan should be tailored to individual needs, opportunities, and constraints you have. It's because of this uniqueness that the larger goals are further broken down into 18 individual focus areas. Each focus area reviews challenges, suggested actions, and short-term and long-term outcomes. We will be expanding on this framework during this video, guiding you to build a plan that serves you best. Because it's most likely that you will go through these videos and topics as needed instead of the order of the document, we have built a reference guide to help you easily find where you are in the document, what's next, and what focus area you are in. LRPT will be the first part of the reference description. Next, you will see the strategic goal listed as G, followed by the goal number 1 through 6. Then, the focus area will be highlighted as F, followed by the focus number within the strategic goal, 1 through 3. Lastly, the current section of the focus area will be listed. This could be either the challenge, indicated with a C, one of the actions, indicated with an A and the number, or the short-term or long-term outcome, indicated with either STO for short-term outcome or LTO for long-term outcome. Look for the reference diagram and reference notation in the corner of the slides throughout the video. The third of 6 strategic goals for Texas Long-Range Plan for Technology is digital citizenship. What is digital citizenship? In general, it is a student's awareness of their own ability to make effective choices and the impact that that has on the world around them, for themselves, and in reaching their full potential. Educators and parents share responsibility in teaching the components of digital citizenship, including respect, education, and safety in a digital world. Remember to pause this video to print your workbook if you haven't already. Now that we have introduced the strategic goal, let's review the focus areas. There are 3 focus areas to help guide the realization of this goal. 1. Program development. 2. Content development. And 3. Rights and responsibilities. Let's zoom in to focus area number 1. Focus area number 1 is program development. In the context of digital citizenship, what would be considered program development? When we refer to program development in this video, we are referring to formulating, improving, expanding on an ongoing educational plan for digital citizenship standards and expectations for your learning community. The more digital resources and tools we provide, the more we engage in the responsibility to define the standards for use and how to show up as a citizen in a digital world. Digital citizenship on a grand scale includes helping students take ownership of their digital lives, actively participating in a digital society, using technology in an appropriate, responsible, and empowered way, and being better stewards of technology. When considering the development of this program, it is important to keep these markers in mind. Review the resources below for more information on program development for digital citizenship. Each district's program will be unique as you make decisions aligned with your resources and desired outcome. That's why each focus area is broken down into the main challenge, action steps to be taken, and short and long-term outcomes to watch for. First, let's talk about the challenge of developing this type of program. Remember to download the workbook as a tool to collect your notes and reflections. The challenge of developing this program, like with all things technology-based, is the constantly changing nature of it. Another aspect is the mixed messages learners receive around what the acceptable use of technology is. Before we think about the actions you can take, Let's reflect on some of the outlined use of technology your district already has in place, such as the goals, assessment, and management of technology's use. These are important aspects to consider when addressing what your district will uphold as acceptable use of technology. The more aligned all of these pieces are, the more we can decrease the mixed messages students see and hear in this area. Some examples of what acceptable use of technology could sound like in your district could be: students understand that the district's bullying prevention and intervention plan applies to online behaviors, or students respect the rights of copyright owners by limiting copying to essential materials and providing citations for images and text. Pause the video here to note in your workbook how your district defines acceptable use of technology for your students. Continue your reflection. Once you set these standards for acceptable use and digital citizenship, how are you then able to measure their effectiveness? This question needs big answers, but for now, think broadly about how you would measure effectiveness and what a successful campaign would include. Pause the video here to reflect in your workbook on what these answers would look like for your district. We know the challenge. Now let's think about the first action. Action number 1 is to create digital citizen standards. These standards should address the two major components of being a digital citizen: what information students are adding to the digital environment and what information students are taking from the digital environment. An example of a standard for how students add to the digital environment would be engaging respectfully online with people who have different beliefs than you. A standard for what students take from the digital environment would be determining the validity of online sources of information. Pause the video here and use your workbook to write down some examples of your district's digital citizen standards and how you address both the intake and output for the digital environment. The second part of this action is to outline how you will be sharing these standards with the school community: students, parents, staff, and teachers. Discussing these standards programmatically with your school community is vital. It can look many different ways, including an interactive portal, open houses, discussions at assignment of technology, etc. Check out the resources below for more ideas on digital citizen standards. Pause the video here to outline how you are sharing these standards with your school community. Let's move on to action number 2. Because this will inherently need to evolve, it is important to measure the effectiveness of the program as they are active in your district. This measurement could include varying strategies from digital surveys or in-person community workshops and discussions. Pause the video here to reflect on how you are measuring outcomes in your district. In addition to understanding the effectiveness, these types of outreaches will also give you feedback to increase access for users, to expand the community's willingness to participate, and increase awareness. These are examples of how you can use the data collected from surveys. How are you planning to use the results for your district? Use the resources below to help build strategies for measuring effectiveness. Pause here to reflect on how you will gather and use this data. Now, let's move on to action number 3. Action number 3 in the goal of program development is to understand and make relevant updates. How are you remaining aware of technology changes in order to update your programs? Changes in technology could impact areas directly related to digital citizenship. This could include privacy and security changes, changes to how students should manage their digital footprint, or how we prepare for cyberbullying concerns. Pause the video here and use your workbook to note how your district is planning to monitor and update the program as necessary. As we discussed in the previous action, it is important to actively create space for training, support, and awareness campaigns for your school community. This could be in the form of professional development for staff and teachers, creative support strategies that impact both the parents and students, or other community awareness plans unique to your area. Check out the resources below for information on tracking and using relevant updates. Pause the video here to reflect on how you will prepare and take this action in your workbook. The last action for this focus area is action number 4. Action number 4 is to find balance between responsibility and protection. This looks like creating an environment that encourages responsible use through digital literacy and expectations, not simply restricting use. Technology is essential in the daily lives of students and will remain so in the future. It is our job to provide space in their education that allows them to safely learn responsible use in a developmentally appropriate way. Creating this type of balanced space could include modeling effective technology integration into the classroom experience and having honest conversations about digital footprints and the natural consequences and benefits of a digital life. Use the resources below for more ideas on creating the balance between responsibility and protection for your learners. Pause the video here to reflect on how you are providing this balance. Now that we understand the challenge and have some actionable ideas, let's look at the outcomes. The short-term outcome of focusing on your program development is well-defined awareness program that prepares students, staff, and parents for responsible digital citizenship. Of course, the purpose of this entire focus area is to create a well-defined awareness program, but that is not a realistic outcome if you have not created a unique definition of what a responsible digital citizen looks like in your district. This definition could include attributes like students being able to recognize their rights and responsibilities when using digital media and protecting their privacy and that of others. Review the resources below for more ideas on what this may look like. Pause the video here to write down how you would define a responsible digital citizen for your district in your workbook. Lastly, let's review the long-term outcome. The long-term outcome of this goal is a knowledgeable society that takes responsibility for digital actions, behaviors, and consequences. This type of knowledge allows students to be ready for the future of learning and technology in the world. Because taking responsibility can present itself in a variety of ways, how will your district measure this trait in your society? What specific behaviors will you look for as you strive for this outcome? Use the resources below to guide you as you explore this concept. Pause the video here and use your worksheet to reflect on what a responsible student population would look like at your school. We've covered everything for this focus area. Now what? Continue to reflect on what you are doing and what you have done in support of this focus area. What obstacles and successes came to mind during this video? Who else should be included in this conversation? Find your team. Who is needed to move this focus area forward? Use your workbook and the provided resources as a starting point for a larger conversation around this goal. Start with action 1 and work with your team through each action step to make this a sustainable and customized plan for your district. The ideas you're writing in your workbook will be the material you use to build your district's LRPT. How will you use this reflection process to inform your plan? Lastly, write a short summary statement for this focus area. How would you summarize what you've done and what you need to do for this focus area based on your work so far? Pause the video here to write down your summary statement in your workbook. Thank you for your work to transform Texas education through technology.